Welcome, everybody, to the fifth and final podcast. I got my boy Milt with me. Say what's up to the podcast, Milt.
What up, guys? How's it going?
Yes, sir. And we are finally back after what, a couple of months? About a
Couple months,
smooth,
couple months.
smooth 6 months. We are finally back with the first podcast of the year. Back at fifth and final. So we will get started on this podcast. The topic of this podcast, we're just basically gonna give both of our top five teams, and I'm gonna let the guests go first. Milk, who do you have at your number? Did you want to start at number one or did you want to start at number five?
Let's start at five. Or we can start at one. We'll
Uh,
start at one. We'll start at one.
okay. Well, I feel like we should start at five. Gives a little
All right,
bit
we'll
of
start
a,
at five. We'll start at five. My bad. Your podcast, man. All right. My fifth team. It's tough, but I think I'm gonna go Commanders.
okay.
Commanders are good. Commanders are really good. They're like a little bit. They haven't been able to get on the edge of Flash recently, but I mean, Commander's solid overall. Great user. I think one of the best middle linebacker users in the league. He actually has the most picks, I think. So I'll say Commanders.
Commanders at the number five spot. Bet. My number five will probably be. This is probably going to be a little bit shocking. It might be a little bit of a reach, but I'm gonna go Jets. I'm gonna go Jets. He had a very impressive offseason trade by trading for quarterback Joe Burrow and also
Yeah.
getting Trey Hendrickson while keeping literally the majority of his team. He still has Garrett Wilson, Quentin Williams, just mainly, most of the guys still there. His draft class was amazing too. He
Yeah,
drafted the
for sure.
superstar kicker. So I have him at my number five spot. A very good user. Only thing I'm concerned about that's going to be, a question, heading into the rest of the season is that secondary because he did trade away Sauce Gardner,
Yeah.
but that's just the only iffy part. But he does have a good rookie in Jeff Jackson I'm seeing right now on the roster. So he has a couple of people that he'll be able to fill in, but that's definitely going to be a question. But I definitely like his style of play, so I have him at my fifth spot.
Jets, yeah, that's a good pick. I think I put him once. Tough opponent for sure. All right. You want to go for this time?
Do I want to go for this time?
I could go. I
Uh,
have my guy right now, but if you want to go, I don't want to snag him if it's the same guy.
yeah, you can go. Go ahead.
All right. I hate doing this because he's in the division, but I gotta go Buck.
Bucks at four. Okay.
So he beat everyone. He lost you could say a fluke game, whatever. He still lost to Zeus, or else he'd be higher on the list, in my opinion. But you gotta go Bucks. He's made improvements everywhere. I mean, he's won some Super Bowls before. He's been there. The only thing is, it just I don't like I said that loss to Zeus might have brought him down a few slots in my opinion. But G Nolan, really good user, really good coach. But I mean, so far they're doing everything right. And then with Malik
Okay.
Willis doing pretty good.
Got you. That's your number four. Yeah, you were right. That was going to be my number four team as well. The big question for the Bucks heading into the rest of the season, they had a really good offseason, drafting some good rookies after that horrible start to the first year, as expected though, because it was a Bucks roster. They did pick up Max Crosby, kept a lot of veterans on the team. The only concern about me for the Bucks is again that secondary. He didn't really add anybody to that secondary. Jamal Dean and Zion McCollum can only do so much, and he was getting torched by the Raiders, bro. Like I was
Yeah.
watching that, I watched the full game, and it really made me question, like, will he be able to stop this? And he still has, even his secondary in terms of the safeties aren't that good either. Um, yeah, he is my number four team. I just don't think he's going to be consistent enough when it comes down to the playoffs. And I definitely do think he is going to be. I could see it being a first or second round exit, just depending on who he plays. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is my fourth team. I just don't feel like his team is solid enough to get him all the way to that conference game against whoever. But yeah, that's my fourth team. But I guess I will go number three. My number third team. Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah.
All
It's
right, bet,
fun.
bet, bet. Third team is going to be Ravens. It's going to be the Ravens. Um, the team in itself is good. Is good. It's an all around team. They've developed. They're continuing to develop. It's just the user that I'm concerned about because he got absolutely exposed against one of the. And I'm not gonna say worst users in the league, but by a pretty mid user in R2, he got absolutely
Yeah, exposed. I agree.
exposed. And me looking at this roster, he also does have a lot of aging players and Mark Andrews, who's about to be 29, Marlon Humphrey, Justin Tucker, Marcus Williams, Ronnie Stanley, Keenan Allen. He's not an X factor like he was last year. He has
Yeah,
a
for sure.
lot of aging players on the team, but it is very well rounded. It seems like the rookie Julius Stevenson, the wide receiver, he has SSF, so he's doing pretty good there in Baltimore. But I have him as the number third team. It's definitely going to be interesting when it comes to playoffs if he's going to be able to. Because he went to the conference trip last year, right?
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, to see money. Yep. So definitely, I have him at the third spot.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. I mean, I have it close between 3 and 2, but I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Ravens at 3. I mean, he went to overtime with, like you said, another mid user, as in Cody, just last night. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think the team's there. Lamar is obviously gonna do Lamar things. Just the user just seems he hasn't been able to be back since early Madden 23.
bet, hell yeah. So you want to go? Your number two?
Yeah, I'll go my number 2.
Bet.
At number
Who
2,
you
I got
got?
Eagles.
Mm,
E- even
okay, okay.
though even though he beat he won the Super Bowl last year, pretty good user. I just think Eagles might be a step behind last year with all their older players, as in Fletcher and Jason, just I mean, the team is aging out, I feel like, a little bit. So I think I'm gonna go Eagles. He's beaten Commanders, he beaten Falcons this year. I think his only loss might have been a forced loss. I can't confirm that, but I think that's how it was, unless he lost to someone. Let me check right now. But overall, I mean, he has Antonio Brown. He just, I don't know. He's a really good user. He might be boring to watch. He might put you to sleep while playing him. Maybe that's a strategy. But I gotta put him at 2. Super Bowl champ.
Okay, word. Got you. My number two is actually going to be Titans. Titans. The reason why I'm putting him at number two is I still feel like he doesn't have the roster to be able to compete still with the Eagles because I feel like yes, however, he did lose um, Lane Johnson to retirement and some of the older players like Fletcher Cox. But I still feel like the Eagles have a very solid roster, especially with Nick Chubb, the addition of Nick Chubb last year, and just the whole all around team. He still has, he absolutely upgraded Keely Ringo. The only problem with that I have with the Eagles is just the secondary still, and the Titans are young. They still have draft capital, yes, but I just don't think that the Titans have the full roster, especially when it comes down to the safety position and like the outside linebacker position. He has a 70 overall, Rasad Weaver, and the right outside linebacker he has DJ Wanham. And then when you just look at that pass rush, it's literally non-existent. Like he has a 64 overall at left end, and then at right end he has Keon White, who didn't do anything for me a while on the Patriots. And looking at his stats now, he only has one sack on the whole entire season.
Jeez.
So yeah, and he has a 27-year-old defensive tackle who's like an 82 overall at defensive tackle. So I just don't think the pass rush is there, and it's going to allow Jalen Hurts to just do whatever while he's in the pocket and get
Yeah,
outside the
for sure.
pocket.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. But I mean, okay, you're gonna, and then obviously your one is Eagles, and then right?
Maybe, but I want to give some honorable mentions to some teams who didn't make the
Okay.
top five.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my two honorable mentions. My honorable mentions is gonna be one of them is going to be Rams. I mean, yes, the record is 7-1. I just don't think that he's has that roster, and I haven't even seen his schedule, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't played anyone tough. But I'm not going to speak on anything that I don't know. But I'm going to just give an honorable mention to him. It's just a user that concerns me, very inconsistent, especially with the Rams. And then my second honorable mention is actually going to be you, Milk, Falcons. You have a great team over there. It's starting to get a little bit on the older end. You literally
Yeah.
kept the whole base team. You made a fantastic, probably the trade of the year for you last year by trading away Bijan Robinson and picking up those two first, with one of them being, Larry Rivers, who you drafted with the fourth pick.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely an aging team with Mike Evans, Stephon Gilmore, Aaron Donald, Stephon Diggs, Jesse Bates. But um,
Yeah. Some wiseness in Atlanta.
yeah, definitely. You need to pick up some picks this offseason, bro. but
No picks. No picks.
yeah, but that's my two honorable mentions.
All right. I'll go my honorable mentions. Um, I'm gonna go Baby Ball Lions. He's always. It seems like he's always there. Like he might not be making a lot of noise, but he's always in the picture. He's always in the hunt. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Tony Meatball. Tony Meatball is one of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
I'll go Chiefs as my other honorable mention. When I played the Chiefs earlier this year and they had a 95 overall offense. So the offense is for sure there with Josh Allen being a 99, CeeDee Lamb, Travis Kelsey, Isaiah Pacheco. They're just stars everywhere on that offensive side. The only problem, they might have made the top 5 if the defense is pretty easy to run on without Chris Jones and many more.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll put Chiefs and Lions as my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I would definitely would have picked Chiefs. The way the Chiefs play is very, very, I'm gonna say glitchy with Isaiah Pacheco, CeeDee Lamb, and what's the corner's name? I forgot. I'm not looking at his roster. Oh,
McDuff?
Legarius Sneed. No,
Oh, it's Sneed.
Sneed,
Yeah,
bro.
Sneed's good.
I played him last year. He literally jumped and deflected every single ball.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just getting to our number ones. Yeah, number one, like you said earlier, would be Eagles. I think he makes it back to the Super Bowl on the NFC side. I I think it's going to end up being Eagles Bucks conference chip, but I just don't think the Bucks get it done whatsoever. It could also be Eagles Lions, but I think the Eagles makes the Super Bowl again, and I think it goes back to back just because of how that roster is built up, and I just don't feel like anybody has a pass rush nor the cornerbacks to be able to stop Quez Watkins and AJ Brown and Dallas Goddard. Um, I think
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
a
going to
great
steamroll.
receiving core.
Yeah. Um, and just the way Madden is, pass rush isn't, the best right now. So I just think he steamrolls and goes back to back. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, I think he wins.
Yeah, that's a great point actually. But my number one, I think I'll go see Money. I mean he's won Super Bowls back to back. He for some reason playoffs that's where he shines. Like other users, not going to mention names. Cody, uh, when the playoffs come, they crumble. But C Money does the opposite. Clearly, he's made it to what 5 Super Bowls in a row. I mean, it's hard to go against the guy.
Yeah, definitely. Tom Brady of the league for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go see Money, and then let's
Hey,
do
money.
let's do a fun one. Biggest fraud in the league. Let's do one for
Biggest
fun.
fraud. Bad.
As far as like with team with the best record, but you think they're just fraud.
Just completely fraudulent. I mean, last year it was by far definitely the Steelers. But
Yeah.
that was last year. This is New Year. His current record is 5-4, so he's showing his true colors now.
Yeah.
But I think the most fraud up here, I think it would have to be the Bills. Um, I would say it's the Bills because, as we all know, the Patriots are tanking. And I just feel like we've been in the same NFL division the last two whole, I guess you can say, different rosters.
Yeah.
But he's always been, always had like a top five pick. Has never been good. I just feel like since the Patriots are playing this year, they're taking a bit of a hiatus to rebuild the team. I feel like him having that 7-2 record is very fraudulent. And he started off with a good team, and last year he was still way below 500. Um, but let's look at his schedule real quick. I'm going to go to his schedule. Yeah, see, he beat the Jets by only 2 points. He beat the Bengals. The Bengals aren't a good user. He lost to the Jets the second time they played. He beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks are horrible because I played him and I could have easily won, but
Yeah.
he beat the Seahawks. He got a forced win against me. The Raiders, Zeus didn't even try because he
Fraudulent.
stopped
Yeah.
trying. Yeah, fraudulent cards. Also not trying. He's tanking. He barely won against the Vikings, who are coming off of a rebuild year,
First pick.
and
First pick last year.
exactly, and the Texans don't have a great squad nor a great user, so I definitely think it's just a absolutely fraud year for the Bills.
Yeah.
And as we look for his upcoming schedule, he has the Dolphins. I think he loses against the Dolphins. I think he wins against the Niners because the Niners are tanking. I think he loses against the Jaguars. He gets another fourth win against me. I think he loses against the Colts, Rams, Dolphins. Yeah, he's losing out for the rest of the year
Jeez.
after he plays me week 14. I think he loses to Colts, Rams, Dolphins, and Titans.
Yeah. That's a good
So I
one.
think he would be my biggest fraud so far.
All right. You want me to go mine?
Yeah, you can go yours.
All right. I got the 7-1 Rams.
Mm.
So they beat the 49ers. They lost to the Dolphins. They beat the Bears mid. They beat the Raiders mid. They upset the Lions, which is I think his only impressive win by 3 points. The Niners they beat, and the Cardinals they beat. That was it. So I think biggest fraud, I'll go Rams. I mean, they also were tanking last year, but yeah, the Rams, in my opinion, biggest fraud. I mean, they got Sauce Gardner from Bengals, so that was a huge pickup. But I think the Rams are the biggest fraud because I mean, we even if when he makes the playoffs because he's in a very weak division, you're not gonna hear much noise from Rams. I mean, when's he ever won a playoff game?
Interesting. Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah, Rams. Do you think what is it called? I'm gonna look at his record right now. Oh wow. Yeah, he doesn't have. Yeah, he's definitely from what the record looks like. It definitely looks like he wins out for sure for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Because he plays the Seahawks, win. Giants absolutely win. Seahawks again absolutely win. He loses against the Bucks, I think.
Yeah.
Wins against the Cardinals. He'll probably take an L to the Packers. And then he wins against the Bills. He gets a forced win against me, and then he loses against the Jets. I think I feel like he might win against the Jets in like a BS game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
He's
definitely
good
think
at
he's going
that.
to be a first round exit though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if he doesn't sneak the first seed because of easy schedule, but yeah, if not,
Yeah,
his first playoff game will be an exit.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, man. So I guess that concludes the podcast. Unless you want to add anything else, if you want to add anything else, I heard you guys are adding the best DM award.
Yeah,
Um,
best GM award coming soon this year. So I mean, we're gonna do a league vote for it. You can't vote for yourself, but I mean, it's gonna be a pretty cool award. Who made the best trades? Who came up the most from last year. So yeah, we could debate this the next podcast for sure on the standings for that so far. But that's what I got.
Yeah, definitely. Next podcast, we'll probably do that. We'll probably look, closer when it gets to playoff seeding. But as we have a commissioner in here, as y'all know, Milk is commissioner. Realistically, the league wants to know: is there a possibility of the off season being before Thanksgiving?
That's what we're pushing for. The league it wants absolutely that, so that off season is actually like right of the week of Thanksgiving. So you have days to sign people. Get your team straightened out. So off season most likely will be longer this year, and then we're gonna try to do the playoffs before Thanksgiving.
Okay, got you. Yeah, because as I was looking at it, looking at the calendar, if we send every single day, as we normally do, we'll be in week 18 by the day, which is the 22nd. So in 8 days. Um, so hopefully,
Okay.
some people will take some forced wins, forced losses, just depending on the
Yeah,
record.
because last year the last 3 weeks were only all in the same day, so hopefully
Yeah,
we could get that action in.
exactly. Especially with a lot of people like not doing good this year. So hopefully
Yeah,
they'll just take a force out, move on, because you
yeah,
have literally only you only have like 15 teams, which is just one person above 500.
yeah, exactly.
So
So yeah, for sure, that's the game plan. So hopefully the league can pull through and get on the games.
bet. So y'all heard it here first on the fifth and final podcast. Commissioner Book said there is a possibility of the offseason being during Thanksgiving week, man. So appreciate you for joining the podcast, Milk, and we will see you on the next episode, hopefully.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
know.
All right. Bet. Appreciate you.
All right.